Okay, thank you for the question. The question is our self, the soul, that is the mm, ultimate seat of our consciousness. That is quite is me, so to say, in the Vedic concept, a non-material entity which has the intrinsic property of consciousness. And as we know, things are cyclic in the universe, like we have day and night cycle. Then there is a month cycle when the moon makes one orbit around the sun. Then there is a solar year. The earth moves around the sun. And there are so many cycles. But in the Vedic concept, the entire the solar system, so to say, and the life here, all that we see, what we call our world. Then there is a mantra in Acharya that is saying that lifespan of the world is 4.32 billion years. And then our rishis have, made certain computations that it is divided by 1,000. So it comes out to 4.32 million years. They call it Chatuyugi. And then they have taken certain geometric progression and they call it as Kali Yuga. They have 4 names, but they are not equal division. They are divided in geometric progression. In other words, Kali Yuga is again 1,000th of 4.32 million years. Sorry, 1/10 of 4.32 million years, which becomes 432,000 years. And if that is x, then Dwapar is 2x, Treta is 3x, and Satyug is 4x. So, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 10. So x is 1/10 of.
That is not my question, though.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So, 4.32 billion years is the lifespan of this world, so to say.
Right.
And then that is also cyclic. So this lifespan is called as Brahmadin. Now, then there is a opposite counterpart. So like we are familiar with day and night, typically 12 hours each. So it is conjectured there is 4.32 billion years of Brahmayati. And now the question is, during the Brahmayati, what is our own state? We are no more in our body frame, of course, but and then the question is being asked. There are 2 kinds of souls. One is who are still going through the cycle of birth and death, and there are some who have gotten out of this cycle, what is called moksha or liberation. So what is the status of these 2 souls? The first category is who have not yet attained moksha, but the world has been now, it has been dissolved, so to say. And the second category of the soul is who have attained moksha. So anyway, second category is very simple too. They are not quite affected by this Brahmadin and Brahmayati because they are not enveloped by their mind. They are free birds, so to say. So they are just roaming freely throughout infinite universe. Then the first category, like we are mortal souls, what would happen to us? Then of course, within the questioner has asked, is it that they are just frozen as if they are in coma? So I personally believe that is what it is. So it's like a deep sleep when we have no sense of time, everything is frozen. So like you can call it as coma or whatever it is. So I think that is the answer to the question.
Yeah.
The other question.
Do you know So Atharva mantra that says the Srishti is 4.32 billion years.
Yeah, I can find it out.
Okay.
I think I have seen that mantra myself.
Okay, I like to see.
4.32 billion years is the
Okay.
lifespan of the
Creation.
I won't say of the universe, but at least our solar system. So,
Right.
so that is very, the numbers are given there.
Okay.
Oh,
And this all these 4 yugas, these are made by rishis. Looks like probably they are not in. I heard they are not in the Vedas. Though.
I am not very proficient in what is called Kal Garna. There is a whole, this is called Jyotish. This is not to be confused with astrology. This
Right.
is Vedic astronomical science, etc. And the authentic book is that of Surya Siddhant, that Maharishi Dayanand points out in Satyat Prakash as a valid in his topic of Patan Patan Vidhi. He lists this book, but I have never, that is not my subject really. But from my modern mathematics background, I have some appreciation for this, but I haven't studied this subject from that angle. So, but I think, why did they divide by 1,000? I don't know quite. But then there is another way to divide. The 71 Chaturyugi is called one Manvanta, and then there is a complex formulation.
Yeah.
The term, I believe, because this is astronomical science, all
Yeah.
these divisions must have something to do with cosmic events like day and night, and that's why he talked about lunar month, solar year. So these are this Kal Garna, the computation of time and time frame, had something to do with the events seen in the cosmological events. So there must have been some correlations, but I am not familiar with that. So there
Yeah,
are
I'm sure.
total 14 Manvanta. Then there is a transition phase from one Manvanta to another. And Maharishi Dayanand says one Manvanta to another is kind of a Pralay. And then he uses a term Mahapalay, which probably is the end of the Brahmdin. So certain things make some sense, but I am not an authority on all this.
So Maharishi says there is a pralaya after every manvantar. That I didn't read that.
I would say he has made some reference in his talks in Pune.
Okay.
So he has used the words Pralay and Mahapalay. So I would relate it to Pralay is and the end of the Manvanta. Because I have slight science background, so I like to correlate with what scientists are saying. So scientists also say something in terms of, ice age and different ages.
Right.
Or they were dinosaurs at some time, but they have disappeared. So I would say that probably correlates with Manvanta. So in Manvanta, so this is now, I believe it is 7th Manvanta. So the name Manvanta is Manu plus Anta, which gives me an idea as if, the life on the earth has gone through major upheavals, something like that. So in certain Manvanta, probably there were dinosaurs. And when that goes away, so in this particular Manvanta, we have human beings, so who are supposed to be at the most highest life form. And now I would say it will be in a descending order. So, because, just like sunrise and middle of the day, then things go in a descent mode. So these are my conjectures. I have no basis. That's what I personally think.
Right.
Now there is a question in writing here. What is the difference and similarity between deep sleep and meditation? How can meditation be used to improve deep sleep when needed? These are some issues I am taking up in my Friday morning session, which is at 10 o'clock Central Time. And then they are uploaded on, but that channel is different from my personal channel. So these are two different things. But I must have sent you those links, playlist in my new channel, which is going on Patanjali meditation. And these recordings and other my all things are on different playlists that are on my channel with my name. So the other channel has a name, Scientific Spirituality. Anyway, I have different plans. Uh, so anyway, just trying to point out that such questions are appearing more in Friday morning 11 session, because some people who attend the meditation at 10 in the morning, they attend my question answer Friday 11 also. But this is just to point out. It doesn't mean we cannot discuss these in this particular evening session. So coming back to the question, the first part is what is difference and similarity between deep sleep and meditation. Second part is saying how can meditation be used to improve deep sleep when needed. The second part question, probably the word deep should not be there probably, because deep sleep is one of the best delta sleep, that is NIEM third stage. So that cannot be further improved. So probably what questioner is asking is, how can meditation help improve sleep quality? So let's take them one by one. So the question is about sleep and meditation, in particular deep sleep. So deep sleep, we have a technical term called sushupti here. And Kapil has an interesting statement in Sankhya Sutra, Sushupti Samadhi Moksheshu Brahmyukta. So in the previous question, the term moksha has come. So he is trying to say Sushupti and Samadhi and also moksha, they are at par. Par in the sense, and he characterizes it as Brahmyukta. So, my own is called a Chidrup. I am conscious being. But I am not in that, Ananda Swarup, so to say. But Brahm is Ananda Swarup. And that is what is kind of a vacuum in all of us. We are seeking to upgrade our level of happiness, is it not? So that is the bottom line of any human being. What are you trying to do in your life? I want to get something that I don't have. And what I don't have is probably, or there is something lacking in the sense, I want to upgrade my level of happiness. So that's what everybody is after. And that vacuum persists unless and until you have got that anand. So, once you are in Brahmgupta, you have an idea what it is. So that also goes to three different echelons, so to say. There is a hierarchy. In deep sleep, you are in Brahmgupta, but you don't have the awareness in those moments, as if there is a blackout and you have no awareness of anything. It's total blackout. But one good thing is you are aware from both sukh and dukh, so to say. But we like it because we are away from dukh. That's why whenever we come out of Sushupti, we say, okay, that was very good, fantastic, because no pain and suffering could touch me at that time. Though if somebody will ask you, but what were you experiencing? So we don't quite have a valid answer. We cannot say I was in very special pleasure, super happiness, what is called anand. I would say it was something good, but I didn't have real time taste of it. I just got a distant feeling it is something good, but I cannot describe it. Of course, then samadhi, or what is called deep end of meditation, I am in the same state, but I am preserving my self-awareness. So here I have the real-time taste of it, So In Sushupti, I am in that state, but there is a blackout. Here, there is a real-time taste of that. So that is one difference, major difference between Sushupti and Samadhi. Of course, now in Sushupti, so there are certain corollaries which may take longer, but I can just try to be brief. In Sushupti, the person A enters into Sushupti if he has good luck, if he has good sleep, and then he emerges the same person in the morning. Of course, he feels refreshed, he is relaxed, he is feeling light, everything is nice. But the point I am trying to make is his personality doesn't undergo any change. Yes, of course, body is detoxified. So when we wake up in the morning, we have an urge to go to restroom, etc. Because all the waste has been separated and we want to discharge it. But the reason I am mentioning the detoxification of body is now when it comes to samadhi, this is at a higher level, so your mind is detoxified. What that means is now, if you enter into samadhi as person A, now you are a different person. So your personality is basically the content in your, so I have shown that Sankhya diagram many times. So if you remember that ahankar, which was our storage device, which has all this content in my personality. That's why Kapil calls it ahankar, means aham, my I, my personality is nothing but the content of ahankar. So the word ahankar has been wrongly translated by modern scholars as ego, but they have missed this Sanskrit compound words, what it literally means. So ahankar is content of in my mind, and in samadhi, if I reach that state, then that is detoxified, and the unwanted things that are in my mind are washed away. So you emerge as a different person. And there are many other small things I could have said, but this is the major. That's why I personally like to propagate Patanjali meditation, etc. It's very, very powerful thing. And then coming to the second part, yes, as you learn meditation, you are basically learning ability to calm your mind, is it not? So when you go to bed, what would you expect? Sleep is nothing but, calming down your mind. And if you are good in meditation, it's more likely you're doing the hours of sleep, your mind is subdued. Otherwise, you may have 6, 8 hours of sleep, but your mind was functioning and you have a lot of dreams, is it not? And then when you wake up, it's not that a good quality sleep. As opposed to that, if you have deep, dreamless sleep, sushupti, you will have, it is much better for you. Your next day is much better, and that is very good for your both physical, mental health, etc. So meditation is definitely going to help you have a better quality of sleep. So that would be my answer to both the parts of the question. Any other question?
Yeah. Do you have my question from the last week about the Nishkam Karm, or should I repeat that?
Yeah. I think your question was something to do with the law of karma functioning, and then how can we go to a higher stage where we perform karma, not with an eye on reward, but as nishkam karma.
No, actually the
or you
question.
can rephrase it. What is your mind now?
Yeah. So you mentioned in one of the previous sessions that Nishkam Karam do not make a sanskar, or probably do not go on ahamkar. And so my question was, then how do they help for the next birth. If they are not the part of sanskar, only the regular karmas are the part of ahamkar. Then how does it work? Nishkam karm and regular karm for the next birth, let's say, to provide you the karm phal.
I remember the context was moksha probably,
Mhm.
and then I mentioned moksha is not a karma phal. This has to be earned in a different manner. And then we discussed a lot of things about law of karma and how one is functioning outside the bound of the law of karma to attain moksha probably.
Mm.
Things like that. It's a lengthy and complex issue.
Mm.
Let me see. I would probably I have readily this Sankhya diagram because then that may help me.
Mm.
Okay. This business of karma it's a very elaborate philosophy in the Vedic philosophy. So let me first put the question that, I am looking at the question in my own manner. The question is, from the karma point of view, the common man performs certain karma with a reward in mind. So almost everybody in the world has an idea that there is something like a law of karma. You reap what you sow, something like that. Almost everybody believes in this kind of a thing. Now, now the precise question is, the moksha, the liberation from the cycle of birth, is it a reward from the law of karma point of view? If it is not so, then why is it not so, and how does one attain it? So that I will say is the way I am phrasing the question. So I will invite your attention. The word sanskar has also come from the questioner. So I will say sanskar is here, and that includes my past knowledge, past experiences, and my past impressions of my karma. Now, to make very briefly, this is me, the consciousness, also called as Purush in this philosophy of Sankhya and Yoga. This has three extraordinary powers, as it can be knower, and it can have experience of an event which gives rise to joy and pain, and also it can act also. It can influence the surroundings one way or another out of action. So incoming is knowledge, outgoing is action, and what the incoming knowledge is experienced by it, that is here. So to make it a short story, from 5 sensory organs, one at a time, the knowledge signal is picked up here, passed on here, this makes a copy and then projects it here. And this is called a buddhi, that has the discriminating ability. So it finally concludes what is coming to it. Is it a chair or a table? Every moment we are doing that. And in so doing, it is discriminating ability. Another thing it does is, this is the master, this is his closest secretary, so to say, prime minister, whatever you want to call it. Then it also concludes what is the right action to perform. That is another thing it does. So it is discriminating ability for the knowledge, and also decision about a particular action is taken here. Now let's come back to the knowledge here. This knowledge is just knowledge, and Vyas uses a term called buddhi pati samvedi. Means this the way they have been, this joint is very peculiar, and that joint makes it happen. So otherwise this is like a crystal glass, they say. So this remains its same, nitya shuddha buddha mukt. But when a buddhi vritti, that is called buddhi vritti, appears on the buddhi, it has an reflection on that. It is mere reflection, it doesn't change the character of this thing. So that way it comes to know what it has in common. That is buddhi pati samvedi. You know, it doesn't get affected by that buddhi signal, you know. Now there is a very subtle point here. Now that buddhi vritti can be embraced by it, you know. He takes it as it is happening to me. It's kind of he's attached to it. Like you are watching TV from a distance, you are just watching the news, you don't get affected by it. But sometimes you get affected by it. So that time we say buddhi vritti has become bhog vritti. So these are technical terms, but very important terms. So, but this is up to him. If he wants, he can remain detached. Otherwise, he is affected by all that is happening here. But this is a very big subtle difference. When it becomes affected, then he goes through sukh and dukh. Otherwise, there is no sukh and dukh here. It's just detached manner. He's just watching it. You know, this is very important because law of karma gives rise to sukh and dukh. You know, that's why I have to come to this point. So knowledge, the terminal point is here. Bhog, the terminal point is here, but that is up to you to let it happen or not. If you are a great yogi type of a person, you don't get attached to it, then this buddhi vritti doesn't become bhog vritti, you know. Mm-hmm. So if you are a higher quality person, then that is, you have a different kind of life. You live in the world like others, but your way of life is very different, you know, because this is the subtle point that is so important in the answer to this question. Now, just for sake of completeness, karma is a terminal point is here in the sense you decide the action here. But once the action is decided, it can be carried forward by this unit, you know. So Sankhya has a statement, ahankaro karta na purusha. So, you know, like you are driving a car, you receive a phone call, now you are talking to your friend. So your buddhi is engaged here in discussion with your friend, but your car is driving. So this, because you are an expert driver, all the impressions of your driving skill are here. So this fellow takes over as if you have delegated this responsibility and he is driving the car. That's why there is a red arrow. Not going into intricacies of all this, but I'm just trying to give you a picture that knowledge ends here, bhog ends here, but that is your discretion. Karma gets triggered here. You know, when you start your car engine, that happens here. But once the car starts moving and you have received the phone call, you are consciously here with the friend discussion, but your ahankar is driving the car. So these are very, very complex things happening. It's not that easy to describe all this in few minutes. But now let's come to the answer to this question. The question was, you know, now you have to think in terms of three kinds of people in the world. You know, there are three categories. Let's start with the average people. Average people are nice, good human beings. They work and they are aware of law of karma. They work for the whole day and then they work in an office or business, whatever it is. they expect a reward at the end of the month, paycheck or some profit or things like that. Is it not?
Yes.
But they are very nice people, nice, decent people. They go by very fair game. They never violate the ethical code or moral code. Is it not? So most of the, I will say, 50% Americans are like this. Is it not? Or maybe more. In Norway, probably it would have been 70, 80%. Right? In Japan, maybe more, whatever it is. So these are notional figures. I don't want to offend anybody, but just to convey my ideas properly, I'm giving you certain figures so you have an idea what I am talking about. Now, these are average good human beings. They never do any adharma. They always do dharma, righteous conduct. They believe in law of karma and they know it, their dharma, positive righteous conduct will bring good rewards for their family, their own survival, and they try their best to improve the quality of life, is it not? As they see it, the quality of life. So this we'll call an average human being, is it not? They go by law of karma. Now there is a downslide. They are inferior quality of people. They are also bound by the law of karma, but they don't overcome temptations of life and they are willing to forego the moral code of conduct for some quick gains, you know. We are familiar with all this. So they may be cheating somebody, very short, very tiny white collar crimes or big white collar crimes or even blue and black collar crimes, you know, all kind of criminals. So there is a wide shade and that will take care of bulk of the remaining population, is it not? Now these two, the second group, the downslide group, they know there is law of karma, but they think they can get away from it. Or they think law of karma is nothing but the law of land. And they don't see that, they don't believe in the birth and death cycle. They don't believe that the ledger book carry forward will happen in the next life also. They just don't care next life. Who has seen the next life, is it not? So they are like Asuya Namte Loka Tamasaveta. This is third mantra in the Yajurveda 40th chapter. So they are like that. They just see very time in tomorrow, next month, next year, things like that. And they think the law of land, they can get away from it, so on and so forth. So they are downslide. So, but in their back of mind, they know there is something like law is there. They may not have faith in law of karma, but they are aware of the law of the land. And law of land is nothing. Anything we have made is always in the image of, you know, Ishwar's design. So the reason I am using law of land is, this is nothing but law of karma, but man-made. So it is not perfect, you know, whatever it is. I have set out the picture and two categories of people, and I have emphasized the term law of karma. Now, probably in one of these sessions, I have given you an example, a mother and child, and a mother asking her child, say 3 or 4-year child, she wants to train him. She wants him to become slightly responsible. She asks her child, can you go to your room and tidy it up, you know? And the boy is not so, is slightly lazy or whatever you call it, is not very interested in doing that. Then she says, okay, you go and do it, I will give you a candy. Then the child goes up into his room, does something and comes back, and he gets a reward of a candy. So this is also a good child by modern nomenclature. he did something with an eye on the reward, and he played a fair game, So he's like our average adult, so to say. But now there is a child, and it is easy to visualize him. There is another family where the mother asks him, "Can you go and tidy your room? Just put the things in the right place, the toys and books and all that." And he just goes there and does it, and comes back and reports to his mother, "Yes, I have done that." Mother smiles, "You are a good child," and gives some sort of appreciation, maybe a pat on his back or whatever it is. Now, just child number 2 didn't have an eye on any reward. He just did it, And if you ask him, why did he do it? He will just say, "It was very natural for me. My mother asked and I did it." So he has a faith, from his perspective, he has a relationship with his mother. Even the first child loves his mother, but second child has a slightly upgraded relationship that, I should care for his words. I should give importance to her instruction. So something more than the child number 1, is it not? So he didn't do the work with an eye on reward, but he just did it because he reciprocates his love for his mother, is it not? So now that gives you an idea. There is a third category of human being who are, that's why we have all these discussions on Vedic philosophy. The whole idea of this and even meditation is, to link up with that force, that supreme consciousness, to understand. Now that is our supreme mother, and we are her child, is it not? And now look at meditation as an attempt to be with that mother, So meditation nowadays has become it's not a good word to use, but has become quite cheap thing, is it not? Everybody is talking about meditation. But we have a high level of sanctity with meditation, because as I said, Sushupti Samadhi Moksheshu Brahmrupta. So this is like being in a lap, So when I want to be in meditation, my objective is to be with that Supreme Mother, So one thing I have learned is to be with anybody else or with anything in the world, I have to go through the instrument of mind. But to be with her, that Supreme Mother, I must disconnect from mind. And when I wish to disconnect from mind, I want to go through meditation, calm my mind, then disengage, then I will be with her. So that's what I mentioned was Ananda Swarup and all that. Mm-hmm. So, of course, a distant taste of that is in Sushupti, as if every night she takes me in her lap, but then she says that, I am available even in your daytime, provided you have some time for me, is it not? So that is what whole samadhi and meditation is all about. So this is when we are talking about this third category of person, he is also aware of law of karma. Like child number 2 could demand a candy, is it not? Mm-hmm. But he doesn't, he has his relationship with his mother at a very higher level, where candy has no relevance, is it not? Mm-hmm. So that is a different level of maturity. So we are now talking about a third category of person. We are aware of the law of karma, but yet we say that I don't want to be bound by these things. I want to do what is expected from me by that Supreme Mother just because I love her. So out of my genuine love for that Supreme Consciousness, that Ishwar, whatever I call her, I say, I want to do what is expected from me. Is it not? So then it is the second mantra, ko vanne karmani na karm lipyate naye. So na karm lipyate naye means nishkam karm. I am not guided by the rewards of my karma. I am doing merely as her child, Aya Ishwar Putra. So I am too Aya because I am her child, is it not? So Yatha Pita Tatha Putra. I will not let her down. I am her child, and I am very conscious every moment that I am her ambassador, I am her representative in this world. Otherwise, if I do stupid things, people will say, this is what Ishwar child does, is it not? So, I have a very high level of responsibility. My conduct is, so law of karma is for very usual, this is a carrot and stick for normal human beings so that they are brought to the dharma. So law of karma is not quite a punishment. It is so that a common man is brought on the line. That's what, we have done so harm to ecology. Now, some people are eating even, cockroaches and lizards and snakes and bats and whatnot. And that has given rise to coronavirus and whatnot. So, so we do very stupid things. And then the consequences come, and then we sit and, okay, let's take corrective measures, is it not? So the humanity as a whole is now learning from trial and error because of the law of karma. But there is always that minuscule minority who are more mature, and that's what we should be. Otherwise, we are also like them. So we must have a higher quality of life, and otherwise, how can I be a teacher if my own quality of life is not better than others? Is it not? So if I am a meditation practitioner, I am not supposed to get angry. I am supposed to lead a very what is expected from that Supreme Mother's child, is it not? So that third category is something. Now coming to the precise answer to the question, how does one get moksha? So as I think I have previously remarked, we come into this bondage, this is the bondage, because of something is here. And that peculiar thing is called avidya, and that is klesh, and so on and so forth. Let's not go into that detail at this point, but that is the content in my mind. So that has led me to this whole game of worldly life. And if I am guided by the law of karma, then think the law of karma as a ledger book. So that is keep making some entries. So whenever I do a karma, I expect an reward. So that makes an entry. And then of course, to accept the reward, I must live to that, is it not? So that will do nothing but elongate my birth and death cycle, is it not? So I am just on the average man on that level field, is it not? So two aspects are there. If the ledger book keeps on filling, then I will always be born again and again. So the first condition is I must pick up that maturity that I don't go by law of karma, is it not? Then the ledger book doesn't get an ante, and he knows it best, as if what is my intention behind every karma. He knows it. So first thing is I have to stop new entries here. And now the question arises, how do I take care of the old entries, the avidya in particular, that is a particular klesh, and how do I get rid of that? Then I have told you that that doesn't happen due to the law of karma. So if I do good karma with good intention, it will bring good rewards. So first thing is I have to get out of it, and then that helps me. Even if I am a good doers, then only my meditation practices will be successful. If I am doing crooked karma, bad karma, then I am on the downslide, is it not? So at least I have to be average and then be more mature to the higher level person, and then that is all good life. But that is also not enough from liberation point of view. I have to practice deep states of meditation, because in those state of meditation, particularly what is called Nibij Samadhi, that beach, the seed that gave rise to all this, bondage, that will be burnt out. So when that is burnt out, then I am Jivan Mukta, so to say. And then that is the current life will be my last life. Then I won't be born again. So from karma point of view, I have to elevate beyond the law of karma, just like I gave the example of two children. So I have to become like that, but that is only one part. The second part is I have to learn meditation and practice what Patanjali is saying, Kaivalya. I have to get to the stage of Kaivalya, which is after Nebij Samadhi. So, we have about 8 or 10 minutes. If there is a related question, we can take it
So,
now.
yeah. So what's the impact of Nishkam Karam if, to get the next life? Does it have any impact for the next life? What kind of life we are going to get?
Well, Nishkam Karam is, of course, very wonderful thing. Firstly, you are not adding new ledger entries. Secondly, you are making yourself eligible for better and better quality of life. So even in this life, you are in a very high category. That's what has inspired you to become out of the, in
Yeah.
the domain of Nishkam Karma. So probably next life you will be in such a family or with such a background that if you didn't go into this direction or not to the fullest extent in this life, then that will be, the next life will be carried forward from this point of view. So they are, Patanjali is using the term like Bhaupatya and, Vide, and I think there are two kinds of people he mentioned, who are born with a kind of advantage in the meditation practices.
Okay.
So some of you know it. I take so much of effort to invite people to learn meditation, but not everybody is interested in it. There is always a very small class of people who are genuinely interested in such things. These are
Yeah,
This
I
is
have a
not everybody's
conflict.
cup of tea. So
Yeah.
I'm very much aware of it. People are
I
generally, they like to know theoretical things, but practice of this, what I'm saying is going to lap of that. It's nice to talk about Ishwar and thing, but then that intimate relationship with him and trying to make a gradual progress in that direction by way of meditation. That is very, very demanding, and very less fraction of people are interested in it. But we should, that's the only way you transform your life, and that's how you can transform the world. Otherwise, I personally say, if you are not in this endeavor of trying to be in her lap, so to say, if you don't make an effort like this, then I will say you are like any other human being. And all the 7 billion people, they're almost like an orphan child. They don't relate to that supreme mother and father, is it not? So one may say, I am astic, I believe in Ishwar, and he can write long articles, but it has no meaning, unless you have intimate moments with her. It's just like there is a child in an orphanage that is well managed. He gets everything, food and education and all. but he doesn't have that intimacy with his mother, is it not? Or father, so to say. So that's what today's world is. Of course, from our point of view, we will divide the world into Astic, Nastic, some followers of this religion or that religion. But all that is kind of an entertainment, you know. Finally, it boils down to if you are truly connected to that Supreme Being or not, if you care to be with her or not. That is the only criteria. Otherwise, all that is bookish, all that is talk point. So it doesn't make a difference. That's why I think there was a question in this session why we are not able to propagate Vedic principles. So this is the primary reason. Those who profess to subscribe to Vedic principles, they don't demonstrate better quality of life than others, is it not? They are same as others, except that their talk points may be different. So these are tough issues, you know, and good things are not that easy. So one has to work very hard, you know. So talk and walk have to go together. So that is what is missing from most of us. We are talking nice things, but we are not walking those points. Anyway, it was nice uh, question answer session in the evening. We'll meet again this hour next week, and thank you for your attention. We will continue to be discussing. Have a good time.
Thank you very much, Harish. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.